creating a zero excuse culture in your estate agency. Today I'm joined by Paul Leslie, who is an estate agent in West London, and he's a big passionate believer in a zero excuse culture. What does a zero excuse culture look like in an estate agency? Talk to me.
So my understanding, and I may not have got this completely right, but my understanding is Sir Clive Woodward, before England won the Rugby World Cup, instilled a zero excuse culture. And what that meant was that he went to the players, the squad before the tournament, and said, like, what do you need? What piece of equipment do you need? What rooms do you need to stay in? What do you need? And we'll make sure you've got absolutely everything you need. But that means there can be no excuses. So for me, that means I would say that our sort of pay structure is on the side of generous. I would say that the guys have got laptops, new laptops, they've got tablets, they've got access to some of the most innovative prop tech tools. And again, so it's to give them, the team and us as an organisation, all of the necessary tools to make sure that we can't have an excuse. Oh, well, what if we had that piece of tech? Oh, well, what if we had that piece of equipment?
That sounds like accountability to me.
Yeah.
How can you avoid making excuses when challenges arise then? Is it because you have the accountability?
Yeah, I think that, and I've deliberately, we've never advertised for staff. I've always cherry-picked and hand-picked people, either out of customer service industry or very, very experienced agents that have wanted to do it a different way. So they are not afraid to be held accountable. I'm not afraid to be held accountable.
How do you deal with people that don't meet your expectations?
Probably not very well. I think that's another...
Because that's the thing, is that if they don't do well, then it's your job to make them accountable.
It is, yeah. And again, that's something that I need to work on, and I'm working with a business coach on that side of things, because I wouldn't say I'm a natural manager or leader, so I want to be a better manager. I want to be a better leader. I think that I'm not afraid to take risks. I'm not afraid to put myself out there, in terms of my cock on the block, for want of a better expression. But yeah, so I think, but I need to work at being a better.
I mean, surely you must have some skills, because you've got some cracking team members, which I do know. I mean, how would you describe your leadership skill to implement this accountability? You say you're not very good at it, but I know you are.
Honestly, I genuinely don't think I am, but I think.
Are you just being humble there?
I know. Honestly, I would love to. I would love to be more inspirational. I'd love to be, more charismatic. How do I do it?
Hold on a second. Okay. Are you a razzle dazzle man? No, you're not. But you're only here because of the actions of you being on the sofa with Simon Gates. And lots of people I know said that you are inspirational.
Well, yeah, I perhaps, maybe it's imposter syndrome. I don't see that in myself, and it's something, something that I want to be better at. I think that I lead by example. I think and I go back to, we've talked about legacy previously, but again, I'm a big fan of the All Blacks, and they've got the 15 principles, and not being afraid to sweep the sheds is one of their first principles.
Okay, so accountability comes from you, but responsibility comes from the people that you're guiding and supporting. How can estate agents encourage that culture of responsibility with their team?
I think it's the bigger an organisation you get into, it's always going to be more difficult. Like if you have a dress code, and or if you have no dress code, and then there's always one that kind of gets it a bit wrong, and then that's when a dress code has to come into it. I think it goes back to the whole, if the UK adopts the realtor model, then it all just changes, I think, because people will resonate to certain different individuals. Somebody might like somebody in a three-piece suit, somebody might like me in smart casual, and somebody might like someone in a tracksuit. It's horses for courses. So I think in terms of trying to implement things on a wider scale, or motivating people, I think you have to give them autonomy.
And how do you do that?
I think it goes back to the self-employed. You have to be responsible. There is no get outs. You're only as successful as the amount of sales that you complete. So doesn't matter how many you list, doesn't matter how many you get under offer, it's how many you complete, that's how you get paid. And nobody, as I say, is going to be more invested in making that happen than somebody that's the only way that they generate income.
Thank you for your time today, Paul.
Thank you.